Are you in need of a new haircut? Tired of the same barbershop? Come to Sal's Barber Exclusive for our family experience. We have 45 years of business experience in haircutting. We offer the basic hair trimmings as well as stylings. No reservations, walk-ins only. Come on in and see Denise, Monica, and Sal. The number's 201-327-7037. 6 Church Street in Ramsey on the corner of Main and Church. Our hours are Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, 8:30 to 6. Thursdays, 8:30 to 7:30, and Saturdays, 8 to 5. Closed on Mondays and Sundays. Come to Sal's Barber Exclusive.
Well, here we are, BSN Sports, presenting the playoff preview and wrap-up.
Yes,
sitting to my left, my partner, Mike McSee, and sitting to my right, he spent 6 hours in makeup to look this way.
Yeah.
It is Tebow himself.
Yes.
And this is your second appearance on the show.
Yeah.
It is.
You like being on here, huh?
I do.
Yeah,
It's
it's
been
right.
too long.
It's been too long, you're right.
Yeah.
So let's get right down to it, guys. Okay, we got Tebow here. Let's start picking his brain immediately. All right, 2 semifinal games in the Flag 6, your area of expertise. So let's start, break down the Bruin All-Star game, and then Mike and I will give you our commentary on that.
All right, well, I mean, you got the Bruins who have AJ, they have Thurman, they have a ton of talent, but they can't beat the All-Stars. No matter what happens, they just can't beat the All-Stars.
No, they can. I agree with you on that.
You have the All-Stars, Tano, Lane, everyone knows them, Timmy. They just come year after year, and are in another familiar position, going for another championship.
Yeah. And this time though, it's not Bruins All-Stars championship game. This is just to
Conference
get
final.
to the championship.
So what you're saying in Tebow is that you see no way that the Bruins can win this game.
Unfortunately, no.
No way.
No way.
Okay.
No way.
Mike?
I agree with him. You know, with your write-up that we had this week, you know, like you said, if the All-Stars are always winning, is it really a rivalry? I don't think the All-Stars are really caring who they're playing. I think that the Bruins are more like, we gotta beat the All-Stars. You know, they have that moniker. They're great during the season, but guess what? You run into the All-Stars, and they already played them once this year, and All-Stars handled them pretty well. So like 27-7 or something.
It didn't turn out too well for you.
Well, let
No.
me ask you something. I'll go to the quiz question with both of you guys before I throw in my stuff. What makes Titano such a, is he a better quarterback? Is he that much better than AJ?
I think so.
You think he is?
Yeah.
But what makes him that much
Tano
better?
can beat you any number of ways. He can hit you with the long pass. He can hit you with the dump offs. He's the most accurate quarterback in the league. AJ relies more on the deep balls and his scrambling ability. You shut down his scrambling ability, he has no intermediate game.
Yeah.
So he can't do anything to compensate for the deep ball not being there.
It's all deep ball and all scrambling.
Yeah, they have that one play where they dump it off to the center to Kornacki.
Kornacki.
Yep.
I like Chris Gordon.
And that, I like all the Bruins. I like all the teams.
Got a
Everything.
cute girlfriend.
But it's like you were saying, it's either scramble, deep ball, or Kornacki over the middle.
Exactly.
You know, that little let me block, let me break off. Here it is. Usually ends up for a big play though.
So you think that Titano is that much better than
Yes.
AJ?
Yeah. AJ definitely the better athlete.
Oh,
Definitely the
by
better
far.
runner.
By
You
far.
know, you watch Titano run around out there. No offense out there, but you know, it's,
Well, Titano's
what do you need to
auditioning
do?
for a Subway commercial.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, Titano's smart, big arm,
We said that all year about him.
Right.
We said Titano was a very
You know,
cerebral quarterback.
and very
Yes.
accurate. And that's a dangerous combination. Smart, big arm, and accurate.
Now, you guys have given me your professional opinions
That's right.
on why the All-Stars are going to win. Now, I'm going to give you the factual opinion on why I believe the All-Stars are going to win. You ready?
I'm ready.
The Bruins are too in love with the All-Stars. They're in love with these guys. They play together on different leagues. All AJ does is talk about how marvelous the All-Stars are. What a great bunch of guys. They may beat our brains in every time we play them, but they're a great bunch of guys.
Yeah.
The Bruins actually apologize to the All-Stars for pulling a flag.
Yeah, you know what?
Oh, I'm sorry.
You
I'm
got a
sorry.
point there.
That's
You know,
crazy.
there's just too much love there.
Yeah, I
Just
agree.
I mean, respect is one thing.
Respect. Yeah, respect.
That's
is
one thing. But I mean, if AJ wasn't playing for the Bruins, he'd be president of the All-Stars fan club.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or he'd be on the All-Star.
Yeah,
Or he'd
or
be on the
he'd
All-Stars.
All-Stars. Yeah.
Which may be coming.
Exactly.
Because they play together in tournament games.
They do.
So I think until the Bruins get a little pissed off, a little angry,
I agree.
you know, and really throw some piss and vinegar into this game, it's going to be the same thing again.
Yeah, especially. But when was the last time the All-Stars lost a championship in the 6-on-6? How long ago was that?
Well, but how many times they played the
The
Bruins?
Sharks will say that it was last winter season.
Okay. well,
Outside of that,
all right.
it hasn't
But
happened.
I don't call that a pure 6-on-6.
I don't either.
It's, you know, you can make contact.
Right.
And Hollywood looks for any reason. and
Yes,
that's
the Sharks did say that. I remember reading that on
whether they're playing or not. But that's the reason why I think the All-Stars are going to win. AJ, good player. Kornacki, I just said Kornacki's
Kornacki, great.
You know,
Man all
for a
day.
guy his size, he blocks and he blocks well.
Well, he's like a bowling ball out there.
It really is. But I mean, forget about the All-Stars have all these weapons. They got Bobby. They got.
How can you
is
forget about
Luigi
their
playing
weapons?
with them in this
Luigi's
game
still
too?
playing.
All right, so they'll
Luigi
wheel him
isn't
out
even
into
a
the
weapon
field.
compared to some of these other guys they have on
They
that
give
team, though.
Tatano 9
You
and
know?
a half years to throw the ball.
Yeah.
And how many times have you seen Tatano to Bobby Lane? How many times?
Oh my God.
It's their
I
bread
mean,
and butter.
it's off the board.
Bread and butter.
So you know what, Bruins? You want a chance at winning this game, go in to a steam room or a gym or something, put some hot coals under your asses, and get out there and be a little ornery. And
I'll tell you,
what I think.
I think the best way for them to win, don't rush them. Just drop everybody back in coverage. You know, maybe leave one guy in, a linebacker, to even just kind of roam. Or else, like we said, Bobby, all these weapons that they have. I think it's better, because Tatano, as we said, isn't the best scrambler. He will pick up those yards when you need them, but, hey.
He beats you with his head as much as with his arm. Okay.
Right.
Absolutely.
All right.
Let's move on to the next semifinal game.
Okay.
My sentimental choice. The Orange,
The
Orange Lantern, who finally broke through and won a big game.
Big game.
Finally.
There we go.
And we've been talking about this for a long time. Against the Bears, who are
They're
knocking on the
knocking.
door,
Yep.
right?
They are. They
So
are.
go ahead,
They're
Tebow,
close.
lay it
They're
on
close.
me. Who's
Yeah.
winning this game and why?
First, I gotta apologize to Orange Lantern.
Yeah.
I've been remiss on this team all season long. Every step of the way, I pick against them. Every step of the way, they prove me wrong. This game, I think, is their big game of the season, and they're going to win.
So you
And
are.
I'm picking them.
Okay, now tell me why you think the Lantern can beat the Bears.
I think the Lantern play a more complete game. Sharif has the big arm.
Big
He can
one.
scramble. They have a lot of weapons. AJ Scapa, one of the best high school running backs in the state, is now on their team.
Ryan too.
Ryan's great. Uche, Emilio,
Chris.
yeah, Chris. All the way down the line, they have athletes and they have smart players.
Right.
Smart players. They always make the smart moves. Now, Sharif in the past has had a penchant for making some mistakes, but this season, haven't seen it.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the key for them to win.
So you're picking the. Give me a score.
I'm going to say 38-31. It's going to be high scoring.
That's a low scoring game, I think, between these two teams. I think this
It
is
could
going to
be.
be like
Well,
a
we're getting to you. We're getting to you,
52-48
McCarthy.
game. You know?
McCarthy can't wait to talk about this game.
I'm basing that on the Bears semifinal game against the Hawks.
Right.
I did not see them putting up 24 points. I did not see that game being close the way it was with the Hawks.
And
I
that
thought-
24 points, remember, that was on that last second interception
Exactly.
that the Hawks claim. The flag came out, but if his flag fell out, he still wasn't tagged. And I
Yeah,
do
he's gotta be
believe,
tagged first.
right? You just got to get that one hand on him.
Yes.
All right,
So-
so give me your pick in this game.
This is a tough game to pick because I think both quarterbacks are kind of a wash. You know, Jim, good scrambler, but Jim really is the life of that team. You know, you hear it on the sideline, Jim. You know, Bears, they're obviously a great team. What, they go 7-1 this year?
Yeah.
Did they lose one?
They actually lost in overtime to the Hawks.
There you go. But
Fluky game.
I don't know. This one's a tough one to pick.
You got to pick somebody, McCarthy. You can't hedge here.
I know. I think these teams are just they're a wash almost all across. You know, with the quarterbacks and the.
He's still hedging.
Still.
I might have to come back to you on this one. I haven't made my decision.
All right, well, I'm going to put a couple of points out there, and then maybe that'll
All right.
help you.
Well, I'll say look, before gut feeling, I think the Bears are going to win.
Okay, you got enough room in that gut to put the Bears in there or what?
Maybe.
They talk about me.
They talk
but-
about this one.
All right, I am now going to reveal the secret to beating the Bears. If the Lantern does this, they will win the game. If they don't, they're going to get beat. All we talked about all year. You've talked about it on your
Right.
commentary,
Right up.
this stuff. We've talked about it on the air. When Jim gets rolling, he's like a bulldozer going downhill.
Yes.
Yes.
You agree?
I agree.
You agree?
I agree.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, how do you stop Jim from doing that? Here's the answer.
Great question.
I have the answer.
I think
The voice and all
7
his
other
wisdom.
teams this year have wondered that.
Well, then they should have asked me. They should have asked me sooner. Orange Lantern, quick team, right?
Yes.
Orange Lantern, quick team.
Yes.
Okay, here's what you got to do. And you got to do it. And you got to stick to it. You got to put a spy on Jim. And I'm talking about a one man on that line that's not going to try and rush him like a mad tiger and let him step around. But one guy on that line to contain him and make him throw the ball. You're going to let the Bears win. If the Bears are going to win this game, if I'm the Lantern,
Right.
they're going to beat me throwing the ball. They're not going to beat me
yeah.
with Jim rushing untouched for 30, 40 yards at a clip.
Absolutely.
And I think if the Lantern can do that,
Right.
if they can contain, they're still going to break when he's going to get some yards.
Yeah, that's easier said than done. You know,
I,
to contain.
I know, but you have to attempt
Oh, yeah.
to keep him somewhat stabilized.
Yeah, you're not going to
Definitely.
completely shut him down.
No.
I don't think so. No, he's going to get. I mean, he'll make a move. He'll get away from somebody, but he can't go on these merry jaunts, up and down the field. You have to have. So I
Yeah.
think if you try and contain him, now if the Lantern do that, they have a chance.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hedging too here. They're going to put up points.
Mm-hmm.
They will.
Okay, they're going to put up points.
Yeah,
And you
the
made a good
offense.
point. You said
Quickly.
the Bears were not that impressive.
They
But
were.
I'm going to tell you why I'm going to give them a pass on that. The Bears are the kind of team that I think if they see a team they feel they should beat, they just have to walk onto the field, they think, and just go through the motions.
They're playing their
Right.
competition.
Right.
Yeah.
In other words,
Okay.
they did enough to win.
Right.
Ultimately,
That's all they need to
all
do,
all
really.
that counts. They won.
Right.
So, if the Lantern can contain Jim, reasonably contain him, I'm not going to put a number on rushing yards
Right.
or anything like that, but if they can reasonably contain him, I think they have a big chance to win a game. So I'm gonna go and say that they do contain him, and I'm gonna stick with the Lantern.
All right.
Hedge fund is over now.
Yeah. I'm
Let's
going to
go.
stick with the Bears.
All right, he's taking.
I'm taking the
Very
Bears. I just feel it. I just feel it. I think the Orange Lantern may have great game,
good. Mhm.
but they may have blown their wad right there. I
Right.
mean, that like you said, they're knocking on the door. They have to win that one big game.
You think they get complacent after winning that game? I think it fires them up.
I agree. I think it fires them up. I don't think they get complacent. I think they're going to view the Bears as a bigger challenge because the Bears also beat them during the regular season.
Yeah. Well.
They're going to want to avenge that loss.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
are. Okay,
All
so
right.
let's go on now. Tim, I'm gonna keep you around here. We have the Touch Championship game here this Sunday,
Always a pleasure.
which is, I mean,
Always.
we've got the Bulldogs. Who
Bulldogs.
always seem to be 7-1,
They're
Yeah.
back.
right? 6-2, 8-0 they
Always.
were 1 year, and here they are again, led by Hondo, the little engine that could. And I tell you, I love watching them get those little legs going. It's really funny to
gets
watch
going.
them run against the Banana Slugs, who their ages average 72,
Yes.
and they're all eligible for Social Security, but they keep showing up. They keep winning. So I'm
They
starting
won
with
it
you.
last spring or last fall.
Yeah.
Yeah, we spring, fall.
I don't know.
spring,
We have so many
fall.
seasons in this league. It
Yeah.
loses count. Timo, who do you like in this game? Bear in mind that the Bulldogs beat them 20-0 in the regular season.
I don't think that matters though.
Yeah.
Okay. I had to
I'm
throw that
actually-
in there to try and bait you.
Yeah, I like the Bulldogs. I mean, they are past champions, but the Slugs are just there every single year, and everyone makes fun of their age and how old they are and all this other stuff, but they're always in a championship.
Yeah.
And that experience, I'm gonna pick them to win it. I think they beat the Bulldogs.
You think the Slugs
think they
will
beat the
win this
Bulldogs.
game? Give me
Absolutely.
a score.
I'm gonna go lower scoring. I'll say 24-18.
24-18,
Yeah.
Slugs.
Yep, Slugs.
MC.
Took the words right out of my mouth. Bulldogs, past champions, 7-1, always up there. But it's almost like the All-Star situation.
Mm-hmm.
It's the All-Stars in like 10 years.
Right? Yeah. There you go. It's
You're right.
they're
Probably
always
will be.
there.
They'll
They're
probably be
always
there.
in it, no matter what. You make fun of their age. Hey, these guys get old. They get it's creaky during the season, but they show up in the playoffs. Here they are, finals once again. They won it last year. This is the defending champion now. So
Okay.
I gotta go Bulldogs, and I pretty much had the same score. I was thinking 24-17.
All right, now I gotta bait you guys again because I'm the only one picking the Bulldogs here, and I'll tell you why I'm picking the Bulldogs.
All right.
The last few weeks, the Banana Slugs have not been a healthy team. They've had guys missing due to injury. Now, all these guys might show up for this championship game, but again, how effective are they going to be? The Bulldogs have a team loaded with players. I mean, they are they don't have anybody that sits on the bench because they can't play.
Right.
They play a lot of players. They always seem to be fresh. The Bulldogs lose, in my opinion, and I would call them kind of the express of the touch league.
Okay.
When they start getting crazy with each other, when they
Right.
start trying to do things on their own and stay away from what they do best, and that's their short passing game is excellent.
Right.
Yes.
Hondo fools a lot of people. He can throw the deep ball,
Right.
and he also can run. Now, Hondo is a type of running quarterback, though. They'll design plays
Right.
for him to run. So I think he brings a lot of offense against a team that, if you look at it, Luigi, you know, he's another one of these quarterbacks that no one talks about. He says he can't run, but I've seen him run for first downs and touchdowns.
Yep.
He says his shoulder's killing him, but I see him throw deep balls.
He does indeed.
You know, he throws them deep when he has to. So again, another
We're gonna start calling
quarterback.
him the possible.
Well, you know,
No,
I
he's
said to
constantly
him,
playing.
he doesn't have any muscles left to pull. He's pulled them all. And then
I
he's
don't know how he
got,
stayed together this
Yeah.
far.
and as much as a lot of the guys in the league like to make fun of him, JT, throw me the ball, Thomas, always seems to be catching a big pass.
In
these
the end
games.
zone.
In the
usually.
end zone.
Right in that corner.
I mean,
It's-
I've seen him
It's
catch
always an
last
out to the front
I swear,
pylon.
yeah,
He's always
he's
catching
he's
the
always
ball.
catching a ball.
Sometimes I think he just sneaks from the sideline. It's like, no, I was in there.
And watching him and Luigi together on the same field is like watching Titano and Bobby Lane.
Yeah.
They scream and they yell at each other,
Yeah.
but when push comes to shove in a big play, who's on the other end of it?
There you go.
JT.
Yeah.
So I think the Slugs will give him a game as much as they can. I think the athleticism of the Bulldogs will eventually win out in this game. So I'm going Bulldogs, and I'm going Bulldogs.
You picked against the Slugs pretty much all year, saying the same thing.
I
They're
have
old,
nothing
they're
against
hurt.
the Slugs. I understand that.
You know, this team has been decimated, so we'll
It's been
see.
that way
we'll
for years
see.
with them, though.
Well, eventually you got to come up with one, Joe.
Well, that's my point. I came up with the lantern. I'm going
There
to
you
give the
go.
Bulldogs 27. I'm going to make it a pretty close game. I'm going to say 27-18, just for
This is
the
gonna be a good
under
game.
over kind of thing.
This is gonna be a good
It'll
game.
game up and down the field, but I believe that the athleticism will win out. So we've covered the touch championship game. We've looked at the 6-on-6 flag semifinals. When we come back, we will get to the B flag semifinals.
Yes.
And then the A's. So,
A's
Tebow, you going to hang around with us for a little while?
I'll be here.
You got somewhere to go?
Nah.
All right. Oh, so we'll be right back, right after this message.
Athenia Mason Supply is New Jersey's #1 source for masonry supplies. We're the wholesale one-stop location with a comprehensive selection of cultured stones, bricks, blocks, concrete, cement, sand, and the accessories that make it all come together. Whether you're a masonry contractor or doing the work yourself, skip the big box stores and go right to the specialist at Athenia Mason Supply. We have everything you need to enhance the appearance of your home while providing lasting beauty and value. Stone or concrete pavers can define an exterior space while offering an old-world elegance. A fireplace or brick barbecue can be the central focus of a living room or outdoor living space. Inside or out, nothing adds timeless beauty to a home than the look of cultured stone or brick veneer. Athenia Mason Supply is where your improvement plans should start. Visit our website for ideas or just stop by. Deliveries are available to all of New York and New Jersey, including the islands.
And here we are. We are back for part 2 of the special. Joining us here in that great makeup, as I mentioned, is Tebow. And Tebow's stepping out of his element a little bit.
A little bit.
But it's nice to hear what he knows about the other
Yeah.
divisions. I'm sure he follows that
Of
stuff.
course.
You know,
Yeah,
on
of
his
course, of
rides
course.
every Sunday to different fields.
That's
He
right.
stops off and watches. So let's start with the B semis,
These semis.
and we have.
Well, these are conference finals.
well,
Semis, yes.
All right, semis before the final.
Right,
Well, that.
right.
So and he's got them memorized.
Oh, yeah.
So what's the first game, T?
We have NWA against the Goons.
All right, so let's talk
Real
about
good
that
game.
one. What do you
Well,
think?
I believe the last time they played, someone posted and asked me my opinion on the game, and I picked the Goons. And the Goons came out and they laid an egg.
Yeah. I believe I picked the Goons the same week, actually.
But you know
I-
what? You have a mulligan there, and I'll tell you why. But go ahead.
I thought the Goons had the athleticism edge, quarterback edge, and the NWA defense came out and they shut them down. And I see the same thing happening in the semis.
All right, so you like?
I like the NWA.
And you score?
Gonna be low scoring. I'll say 18-12.
18-12. No war there.
Wow.
Just a score.
Yep, just scores.
All right.
Whew.
Big C.
Yeah, this is another
Oh,
great
here we go.
matchup.
Everything is out here.
Oh,
Are you going to give us another gut feeling on this one too?
probably.
All right.
You know, these are hard games to pick. These teams are very equal. I mean,
I don't think they're that equal, but go
I
ahead.
don't know. They this is 1 and 2 in the division or the conference. Goons, they had a little stumble towards the end of the year against NWA, but NWA had a little stumble also. So I really, all said and done, I'm gonna have to go with the Goons because of the more athleticism. I get yelled at because I pick against NWA, who were the Spartans, right? And or some of those guys are
No,
from
the
that
Goons
too.
were the
The
Spartans.
Goons.
Yeah,
Oh, so I am picking the Goons. I'm picking you guys this week, Kenny and the boys. Yes,
So I'm the tiebreaker.
you are the
All right.
tiebreaker.
All right. Well, first of all, that game that you mentioned, where the Goons got beat, that week the Goons were missing 5 to 6 players. The major players were not there.
Hmm.
So, I mean, again, if you're going to throw a team a mulligan, albeit for that game, they go undefeated. I mean,
True.
the chance of going undefeated,
Exactly.
all right? So, you mentioned the athleticism of the Goons.
Yes.
Kenny at quarterback,
Solid.
another underrated guy.
Very
And you
solid.
know, I tell you what, have you ever seen a quarterback out of the shotgun be deeper than this guy?
That's a double
If
barrel
you're
shot.
looking at the line and you can't see the quarterback, that's just crazy.
Well, he's at a camera range.
Yeah,
What
I
is
think
that?
that-
He's got to widen the lens.
Are they
To
punting
get the
every now and
quarterback.
then?
That's what
You
it
don't
seems
know.
like, but hey,
But
it
again,
works.
it works for him. Hey, these teams got to get to him, and that's a big sack, but they can't.
well, the
Big
NWA, am I saying that right?
Yes.
NWA.
New Wild All-Stars.
Have a conglomerate of a lot of good players on their team. All right, Plush is on
Yeah.
this team.
Yes.
Luigi at quarterback.
JT's on this team.
JT's on his team.
This may
So they
also.
got Jack,
Right.
from, and Jack and his brother
Yes.
Yeah.
are on this team.
You got Matt from the Wild
And,
Cats, too.
Matt, great receiver.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know, again, so they got a lot of good individual players. Remember that word,
Right.
individual players. The Goons have a lot of individual athletes. Now, I'm not gonna say that the Goons are more athletic than the NWA, but I think they might be just a little bit more athletic.
Just a
Just a
little edge.
little bit more athletic.
A little bit.
And we got the Luigi combination at quarterback again. Now, the Goons might make Luigi or force him to do some things he doesn't like to do. Get rid of the ball quicker, you know, so his receivers have to get out. They have to be able, Luigi has to be able to read the hot receivers, you know, when they send the country, which they like to do a lot.
Right.
Yeah,
They love
yeah.
to blitz a lot,
Yeah,
especially off the edges.
I noticed.
So, you
Yeah.
know, Luigi's gotta recognize the hot receivers there. I'm calling the Goons in overtime in this game. I'm
Ooh.
calling the Goons in overtime, 26-20.
Wow.
Okay, I think it's gonna be that close. If the NWA wins the game, I am not shocked.
No, I wouldn't be
I
shocked
would not
at
be
all.
surprised who wins this game. But again, when I get a chance to pick or to have more athleticism than the other team, it wins out most of the time. You know, it wins out.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm taking the pick, making the pick in overtime.
All right.
I'm willing to go
Overtime.
stretch it out.
Wow.
Game number 2, Tebow, go ahead, lay it on us. This is game number 2.
We have Patriots and
Patriots.
Bulldogs.
Bulldogs.
Go ahead.
Patriots.
I'm gonna let you go on this one because Mike and I have a thing about the Patriots. But go ahead. Who do you like in this game?
I love the Patriots.
You love the Patriots.
I love the way they play.
They fooled you too, huh?
They-
Hey, they're 7-1. Or
All right,
I think they
so-
lost 2 games this year.
Yeah.
They're-
Lay it on me, Tebow.
I
What
think-
do you like about the Patriots?
I love their defense, first of all.
Okay. Yeah, the defense I've conceded all year that they had a good
Yes.
defense.
Great defense.
But they seem like they have more playmakers on offense this season. Whereas last season, they struggled big time offensively. They had the quarterback switches and injuries
Yep.
and everything. They put more of a complete offensive game together this season. And I think that's going to be the difference between their failures last season and pushing them into the championship this season.
So you don't think that the loss of the Cordascos on that team was that big a deal? You think they fill that void?
Cordascos are good players. It was a big deal, but I think they filled the voids the way they needed to. I think whereas the Cordascos are maybe more top-notch players, they got more solid and more depth on the offense, and that's really what they needed. Instead of throwing it just to 1 or 2 guys, you know, they have a lot more options now.
All right, and score?
That one, I'm going to take your actual other Other game score 26-20.
26-20 Patriots. All right, Mike. Now I know
All right.
this guy. I mean, underneath he's wearing a T-shirt that says "Go Patriots."
Yeah.
He's their biggest fan during the season. I know you watched the show.
Yes.
You've heard him talk about the Patriots. Go ahead, Mike. Talk about the Patriots.
Obviously, I'm picking the Patriots.
Obviously,
Right?
no
But
brainer.
yeah, since week 2, when I went out and filmed the game, and Kevin was out there, he told me they're not going to lose a game for the rest of the year. Granted, they lost the next week, but they're playing great. They're playing great. I got to agree, Ken with Tebow on this. And if it comes down to a close game, they got Kevin out there to kick a 40-yarder or a 30
43-yarder
to win the game in overtime. And that's a huge. Not a lot of teams in this league have kickers, and to have one that can kick one from 43 yards out, that's huge.
You
And
could
that-
kick one from 43 feet.
maybe, but but and I think that it may come down to that. And yeah, the defense, Patriots defense is great. I gotta go with them.
Well, here we go again.
Here we go again.
I love the Bulldogs in this game. I mean, I really love the Bulldogs in this game, and I'm going to give you the reason why I love the Bulldogs. Oscar Quinones. This guy is a game changer.
Yeah.
He might not be able to kick a 43-yarder,
He can kick.
but he can kick
He
a
can
25 or 30-yarder.
Absolutely.
And I'll
He's
tell
got a
you
good
what,
leg.
this guy in the open field, you remember the scene from Rocky when he was trying to catch the chicken?
Yeah.
I mean, Quinones is everywhere.
Right.
They have a lot of, they have the ability to run on this team. They've got a lot of athletes. I'm not saying that the Patriots don't.
Right.
But I think they're going to get a big dose of Quinones in this game. I really do. And the one thing, now I haven't seen too much of the Patriots on film, which I apologize for, but the Bulldogs can run the ball. I mean, literally out of a run set,
Absolutely.
they can run. I don't know, Mike, you should know this question. Are the Patriots, can they run the ball, or are they
Not as
strictly
much
pass?
as they had in the past. I don't think they have. I forget what his the running back's name was. Who they had. Who they would. He was a great running back.
I'm not sure of his name, I
But
know
now
they don't
it's
have
more
him
of an open, wide open passing offense there. I know you don't think they score points, but they're putting up. They
Okay,
are
let me
putting
put
up
it
some
to you this
points
way.
now.
All right, I'm gonna put it to you this way, then we're gonna move on.
Okay,
They've been scoring points,
right.
right? Been scoring points?
now. It's going for
Do it in a damn championship game.
Well, here we go.
Do it in a score points. Show me in a championship game you can stick the ball in the end zone. Baccarat can kick 90 freaking field goals. I will win the game for you.
That would
There you
be
go.
unbelievable.
Yeah,
First of all.
but I'm just saying, show me points in a game that would put you in the
There we go.
championship game, and that's all I'm asking.
This
you to
is
do.
it.
And that's the reason I'm picking the Bulldogs.
All right.
Till they show me that they can put points up in a big game, I'm going the other way.
Yeah. All
All
right.
right.
I agree.
Right.
But what's nice with this be whichever of these 4 teams wins, it's going to be a great championship.
Absolutely.
Oh,
You know,
I
whether
can't
it's
wait,
Patriots,
yeah.
NWA, or Goons,
Yeah.
Bulldog, this is going to be a great B championship.
Now listen, if the Patriots win this game 10-7, I'm still right. All right, I'm
That's
gonna-
true.
All right, all right.
all right. So now let's move on to our final bracket,
Yeah.
which is entering week 2.
Their
And
quarterfinal, yeah.
that's the eight
Quarterfinals.
quarterfinals here. So we got some really good anybody can win matchups here.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
right
we
from
really
the top.
do.
So let's
Yeah.
start from the top. The Diablos are taking on the Shakers, who
Had a rough
That's
season,
struggled.
but now we're back in. They had
I'll
one
say
win.
struggled.
yeah,
they
Mike,
had
you
one
start this
win,
one. Go ahead.
but now we're back in the playoffs. And guess what? They won that first round, like they did the last 2 seasons. That they were in the a chip game. You know, this team just wants to get to the playoffs. It seems. Who knows? I do
I mean,
say
it's a
I'm
tough
not.
line.
I am
So
not
who do you-
picking
who
the
do you-
Shakers.
all right,
I'm not
who are you
picking the
picking? I forgot to
Shakers
ask you.
because the Diablos are just.
Diablos,
They're-
give me a score.
They're. Yeah, I think this
My
might be.
questions get harder as we go along.
This might be as much as Shakers could sneak in, but I don't think so. I think the Diablos are just they're on fire. So it may be a beatdown, like a 28-7 game. You know.
All right, let's swing over to Tebow.
I was going to say 29-10 Diablos. I think,
You think the Diablos are heads over?
absolutely.
They-
Shakers are great when it comes to playoff time, but Pomo and Justin Laguna,
Yeah.
on one team,
That's what I'm. Yeah.
Diablos.
Yeah.
And Pete quarterback and
Yeah.
great offensive and defensive line. Diablos.
The Shakers have had personnel problems all
Right.
year long with guys showing up. I reffed one of their games. They started with 6 guys actually, and then they ended up playing with 8 against 9, and they play hard, man. They
They
don't
do play.
quit. And they get the Rizzo boys. They got a lot of size. They got a lot of size, and you know what? They'll hang around for a while, but I think eventually, again, it comes down to the athleticism and the amount of people that the Diablos can put on the field, and the Pomo factor. I mean, you know, Pete is a good, solid quarterback.
Yes,
I would
he
not
is.
call him spectacular.
No.
I think he's
Borderline. I'd put him
borderline spectacular.
Borderline.
I
He
think
makes some
Pete,
great
and I
plays
like
with his
Pete.
feet.
I like you. You know we're good buddies, but I'll tell you what. He's more of a game manager.
Right.
But he won't lose you the game.
That was
That's
my
right.
point.
That's a big
He
thing.
won't do anything to lose
Yeah.
the game. He'll
He'll make some
take the
big
sack.
plays,
He'll
though.
throw the ball out of bounds.
He gets it to the guys who will win the game for them.
Exactly.
And that's what you need.
And that's what he's got to continue to do. So he's a game manager that doesn't
Who has
lose the
Pomo
game.
and Laguna
All
on
right.
his team.
So we're all
Now,
in
if
Oh.
Shakers had Goose, it might be a different
Might be
story.
a
Well,
different
you know,
story.
in MOB, there was some issues with MOB. He actually left the team, so he's not there anymore.
So,
It's a lot of leadership.
It's,
off the
yeah.
team.
it's really gone. So
Gone,
let's move
yeah.
on to the next game. The next
all
game,
right.
the 2 seed, who are the Canes.
Canes
Canes.
Untouchables, right?
Canes and
Untouch-
Untouchables.
Oh, well, I had the pleasure of doing the Untouchable game last week, but I'll
Yeah.
let me over to Tebow for this one first.
The Untouchables, it's good to see them back in. I know they took a season or two off. They had some personnel
Right.
difficulties, but you gotta go Canes here. Too much experience, too much Wally. Manny is huge, a huge target.
Oh
as a
my
receiver.
gosh, what's he, about 6'6", something like that?
He's
He
too
is-
tall. He's
Yeah.
too tall for the league.
Yeah.
And Tebow, we've been saying about the Canes, oh, no one, remember us? Remember us?
Everyone
Yeah,
forgot about it.
Everybody
Yeah.
forgot
And
about
they're
it.
right there, number 2.
Yeah.
Probably the quietest number 2 seed. Usually, I mean, everyone's used to just Canes, and it's been Diablo Shakers lately, the last couple seasons. But
Diablo
Canes
shut
are
out
still
the
there.
Canes though, this early in the season.
that was actually a really good game. That I
That
saw.
was a good move.
I was shocked the Canes.
I'm sure if
didn't
you
put
were
up
on the
better
Canes, they
performance.
wouldn't say it was a great game, because 17-0 is still 17-0.
So
you know?
you're liking the Canes at what
I like
score?
the Canes. I'm actually gonna go with a shutout. I'm gonna go 26-0.
Okay. So
Yeah.
now what do you, McSee?
I gotta go with our man here. Again, I don't know much about the Untouchables. Haven't really seen too much of them. But again, the Canes, a lot of talent. Manny, just huge. Just throw it up. Who's gonna cover this guy? He's like 6'6", 6'4", 6.
And
He's
that's
a
not even talking
monster.
about Rasheed Hawks.
Yeah.
You remember him?
He's like the forgotten guy.
Remember
Receiver.
him?
You know, I mean, Pew out there, and the
Pew,
defense
who gets
is
lost
just
out there. You know, nobody plays
And
this
the
guy.
Canes
He's gone and
defense
he's
is incredible. That line will
Absolutely.
get
Well,
on.
their offensive line,
Quick.
Pew, he's been at center for like
Right.
decades.
Yeah,
They're
and
pretty solid. They're pretty
Aaron
solid up
Barnes.
and down. You think Wiley's lost a few miles off the fastball?
A little bit, but he doesn't care.
Not enough to make a difference.
as
He's
long
still
as the
gonna throw it.
accuracy is there,
Yeah, he's still gonna
he's
throw.
still going to do it. Yeah, 'cause
Well-
they had that stumble against the Diablos early, but again, that was like week 3. So they bounced back.
Rainy conditions.
Yeah, they bounced back, and here they are, the number 2 seed.
Well, I'll tell you, I did the Road Dogs game last week again, the
Untouchables.
Untouchable game last week against the Road Dogs. The Road Dogs showed up with about 30 guys. The Untouchables had about 20. I'm telling you, this game was so hard hitting. If we would have sent these 2 teams to Iraq, we would have won the war in 2 days.
Really?
I mean, these guys were after it. The Untouchables, and they know. They only won the game 6-0. They
Right.
beat the Road Dogs 6-0. So offensively, a challenge is maybe a good word for that.
Yeah.
But they physically are going to try to beat the Canes up.
Yeah.
They're going to draw some penalties. They're going to draw penalties.
Yeah.
They're going to do some things wrong. But their philosophy is we beat the other team into submission and maybe we get enough points to win the game. And I think that's what they're going to try and do this Sunday.
I don't think
I
you
can see
can
that
beat the
happening.
Canes
I
down.
agree.
Well, but here's the thing.
Those are some
See,
big
we
boys.
If there's any
underestimate-
team that you probably can't beat down with
Yeah,
size,
those are
it's
some
Canes.
big boys.
Right.
Those are like stocky, short.
Oh, I'm not
just
saying that
monsters.
they're
Oh,
going
no.
to beat them down.
No,
I'm
I
just saying
understand.
that they're going to try to
They're gonna
make
try.
the game
That'll-
physical.
yeah, that'll
They want to
definitely
make it a
be a game.
rugby game
But I don't think-
instead of a football game.
Again, I don't think the Canes would mind that at all. You know, bring it on. You see, you know, they got Darian out there. He'll mix it up with you. I watched him lead Pew down on a kickoff. Oh my God, he was
Well,
just as a
again, now
blocker.
everything you
Yeah.
guys are saying are absolutely true.
Yeah.
I'm just offering what the Untouchables are going to
Right.
do in this game.
Yeah.
They're going to bring, I'll tell you what, it's a 9-minute, they're going to bring 6 guys
Yeah.
on every down. They bring 6, they blitz off the edges, they
Yeah.
blitz up the middle.
Until Wally hits
Until
a
Wally
3
hits it,
deep
and
and
he's
they're
got
down
it.
21-0.
And the one thing that Wally does do well is he gets rid of the ball quickly.
Yes.
He doesn't hang on to the ball a very
Yeah.
long time, and he'll read the blitzes. Look for Pugh to have a real big game here out of the backfield.
Yeah, he's been a little
Those
quiet.
swing
Yeah, he's
passes.
been a little quiet.
They'll look for
It's a lot of
him.
weapons. It's hard to get the ball sometimes.
It will,
You know?
but I mean, in this type of game,
Right.
this is Pugh's kind of game.
Oh yeah. Oh
You
yeah.
know, just give it to him on the
It's gonna be
outside.
cold.
Everybody's blitzing,
Could be a little rainy that day too on
Yeah.
Sunday.
which could even out the playing field a little
Could.
bit too.
Could. Let's see.
All right, so let's move on to our next game.
What do we got? All Stars Arabian Nights, I believe.
Yeah.
All Stars Arabian Nights. This is the one game where,
Mm.
as organized as the Arabian Nights are, as well coached as they
Right.
are, they're gonna have to play an MVP game up and
Yeah.
down to
Yeah.
have a chance in this
They
game.
need a perfect game.
They need
an absolute
the
perfect game.
perfect game.
Yeah, I
All
thought
sides
this
of the
was a
ball
game
perfect.
would
They gotta
would
hope
be
the
a
All
great
Stars
game.
are worn out from that earlier game that they got. They're
What
6-on-6.
what a tough thing for the All Stars to be playing in a second round game in Flag A and a semifinal game, or or
The
a
6-on-6,
final,
yeah, the
6-on-6.
conference final game on
And-
Every
6-on-6.
season, though.
Every season.
Yeah,
And they
they're
always
used
seem
to
to run a little bit out of gas towards the end.
On the A
Right?
side,
They
yeah.
won a couple, they lost a couple in a
They
row.
lost 2 in a row.
You know, so
It
maybe
could've
they've
been,
recharged,
right.
who knows? But I figured this would be the one game that we'd all agree on, hands down. This
Yeah.
would be a
All-Stars.
major upset
Yeah,
if the
absolutely.
Arabian Nights won. No offense to the Arabian Nights, they play hard, but it's
Yeah,
just-
they won't get blown out by any.
No,
any stretch
I
of
really-
imagination, but-
If the Arabian Nights can get themselves a good quarterback, I think then they'll start making a lot
Well,
more
in
noise.
the regular season, the All-Stars handled the Arabian Nights rather easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All Stars
Yeah.
handled a lot of people. It seemed, watching, whether it was A or 6-on-6 with the All Stars, they jumped out to an early lead and they kind of just hung back. But it was like, if you score on us, we're shoving one right down your throat just to prove that we let you have that score almost. You know what I mean? If they could keep that going,
So
they may have a
let's-
dual chip team this year.
let's make Hollywood feel good. We saved the best for last.
No Hollywood this year. We haven't
the-
had any
the-
Hollywood this
The,
year. Yeah.
the Express versus
HOB.
HO. Now this is one of those
4-5
games where
game.
anybody wins.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anybody wins. Now let's start with you on this one, TiVo. HOB with Mikey V at quarterback this year. They still finished 5-3, but they
Yeah.
were in every game and a lot of close games that they didn't come out on top of. Who do you like in this one?
I like expressing this only because the last 2 games I've seen HOB play, their receivers have really let Mike B down.
Yeah.
It seems, they have Barry, great receiver, but their other receivers, too many drop passes I've seen. Way too many drop passes. And against an athletic team like Express, stuff like that happens, you're going to have a lot of turnovers.
Yeah.
Mikey V's going to have a long day.
Well, then they better hang on to some passes.
Exactly.
Yeah, they better. They better.
So I'm thinking Hollywood.
You
in
like
this one.
Hollywood?
Taking
Give me a
Hollywood?
score. Give me a score in this game.
I could say 27-13.
27-13, two
27-13.
scores.
All right.
Big C.
I'm actually going the other way.
You're
I'm
gonna
going
take
to actually
HOB.
pick against the Express. One of my favorite teams. They've grown on me. I love them.
So do
But
boys.
you know what? But I think HOB, they got a big offensive line. If they
Yeah,
can
they're big on
control
both
that,
sides of the line.
if they
Yeah,
can
that's
control the speed rush from the Express, because we did see in some of their games, that big offensive line didn't matter, because people were just running right by them. When they played the Canes,
Yeah.
they were too fast. If they can control that, Mike V, veteran, if he gets his, like you're saying, if they can hold on to these passes, I think, and Express doesn't get on themselves, start yelling, something goes wrong, you're this, you're that.
You're
If
stealing
they
my
can-
thunder here.
if they keep their heads in this game, they may pull up, but I think Mike V's gotta win one, right? That's what we're saying, that's what this is. Well, yeah, I'm taking HOB, close game,
Well,
close game.
I'll tell you, the way I looked at this game, and I looked at this game closely before we came on, because I knew it was gonna be that kind of
Right.
game. Mike V, first year quarterback in the HOB, had him on a 4-game winning streak at one
Yeah,
point.
4 or 5, something like that.
They lost to the Diablos 6-0 in a very, game was played in horrible conditions. The wind
That
was
was some
blowing.
crazy wins.
Yeah.
There was an altercation that occurred,
Right.
so
Yeah.
everybody got thrown off their kilter a little bit. So I'm gonna give
That was only
the
6-0.
6-0 game.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm gonna give the HOB a toss on that game. I'm gonna give him a toss on that game. What you said is true. Offensively, they have not been very good the last few weeks. Earlier in the season, he was running that offense, Mike.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was running that
Oh.
offense like a guy that made watches,
Yeah.
really good. So they need to get back to that to have a chance. You brought up a great point. The Express, when they lose, they beat themselves. They beat themselves by internal arguments. Because look, you got Magic Man, and you got Come On Son. I mean, you got some
Hollywood.
Playmakers, Hollywood, who I believe is going to quarterback this game.
Right.
I think he's over his arm issues. But you got other guys, Man-Child on some of their, like that one guy, I can't think of his name.
On who?
The guy looks like a wrestler.
Yeah.
You know,
I
I
can't
can't think of his name either. But
Yeah,
I mean, they're big on both
Yeah.
lines. So push comes to shove in this game, and I got to really roll the dice. I'm going to go with the Express only because somebody mentioned their experience, and although they're big, although HOB is big, I think that again athleticism might win out, and it's not that big a difference. I mean, it's one of those. If the HOB wins, you can be surprised.
No.
Neither am I.
Yeah, either way this game goes, I
But
would be surprised.
we're forced to make a pick here.
This is definitely the best matchup.
Right.
Oh, I think this
is
would be
the
a great
4-5,
game.
you know?
4-5.
You know, this is going to be the type of game where, you know, whoever scores first might win the game.
Yeah.
Might win the game.
HOB's been in some low-scoring games against the Canes and the Diablos. Diablos, what, 6-0? Canes, I don't think was much more, maybe 10-6, something like that. It was a very low-scoring
Well,
game.
I'll tell you
also.
what, watch Mike V on the scrambles, because he's a deceptive scrambler.
He is.
He
Yes.
likes that roll right, fake pitch, tuck and go.
He loves it.
He loves that play.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, if we know about it, I'm sure the Express knows about it too.
Yeah.
So be on the lookout for that. But that might be the most competitive game in the A playoffs.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I agree.
All right.
Definitely will be.
So Tebow, I want to thank you once again for stopping
Yeah.
by. It's always a pleasure to have you
Always.
down, and we have some fun.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Next time we'll change your makeup and we'll be all right. McSee.
Yeah. All right.
All right, going to be a great Sunday.
Yes,
You'll
it
be
is.
out. You'll be out filming
I'll get in the, at Waddesing, I'll be getting
one of
the
the
touch
semifinal
championship.
sixes
And
and
we'll be
the
seeing the,
touch final.
Yeah, the
Touch
Bears.
final.
The Bears,
Should be-
Orange Lanterns.
Oh man,
Be
should
awesome.
be a
Can't
good
wait.
one out there. All right,
Oh,
so Joey B, Mike McSee, my special guest Tebow, and enjoy it this weekend, guys. It's going to be heavy duty.
Here at Anthony Franco's, we take our food preparation very seriously. With the freshest ingredients delivered daily from the markets at Hunts Point and the finest pasta from one of Brooklyn's oldest pasta houses, we have a large variety of specialty pizzas, pastas, and sandwiches, along with a cozy dining area for your special events. With two great locations, 556 Route 17 North, Paramus, and 128 East Main Street, Ramsey. Call 201-447-3999 in Paramus and 201-238-8000 in Ramsey. Give us a call, we'd love to hear from you. And as always, free delivery.